Welcome to the Daily AI News, brought to you by the Day After AI News channel.
Right now, in Western Australia, a disability support worker is basically on the verge of losing her livelihood.
Right, and all because a roadside camera caught her passenger, just shifting their seatbelt.
Exactly. And meanwhile, over in Silicon Valley, multi-billion-dollar software giants are watching their market caps just evaporate.
Yeah, they're absolutely terrified by the capabilities of the phone sitting in your pocket right now.
It's wild. So today is March 2nd, 2026.
I mean, we've got everything from enterprise supply chain data to global military defense contracts.
Yeah, and the mission for our deep dive today is to uncover the exact moment we're living in right now. Because, we've hit a tipping point.
Oh, absolutely. Artificial intelligence has officially stopped being just a neat digital trick on your computer.
Right. It is violently colliding with human agency, physical infrastructure, and, well, global policy.
It's a profound shift in how the world operates. We are officially moving from passive software that simply categorizes information to autonomous agents.
Agents that act upon the physical world, right? Often without even asking for our input first.
Exactly.
And whether you're, managing a business, raising kids, or just trying to navigate your daily commute, this shift from software to autonomous agents is rewriting the rules of your daily life.
It really is affecting everyone.
So we're going to start in the physical world. AI is leaving the cloud. It is entering the dirt, the warehouse, and the human body.
Yeah, it is essentially democratizing automation for everyone, not just the massive tech giants anymore.
Right, because the barrier to entry for physical automation has just plummeted over the last couple of years, hasn't it?
It has. A new 2025 MHI study shows that 48% of surveyed organizations are now using robots in their plants or warehouses.
48%. Wow.
Yeah, and that is up from just 23% 3 years earlier.
That's a massive jump.
It is. And the mechanism driving this adoption is it's crucial to understand. It is not about companies suddenly finding millions of dollars for capital expenditures.
Right. A lot of that is being driven by what's called RAS, right? Robotics as a service.
Exactly. RAS is changing the game.
Like you have mid-sized companies like Superior Communications bringing in 37 BrightPick auto pickers.
Or a parcel carrier like Uni using global robotics services to handle their parcel sorting.
Okay, let's unpack this. It feels exactly like the shift to streaming service.
That's a good way to look at it.
Like you used to have to buy the DVD player and the DVD, or in this case, the multi-million-dollar robot, and pay an engineering team to maintain it.
Right, and now you just subscribe to the labor.
Exactly. It treats physical work like a utility bill. But I have to ask, is this actually solving fundamental problems, or are companies just keeping up with the Joneses? Because, a fleet of robots looks great on an investor facility tour.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, what is driving this isn't vendor hype or aesthetics. It is pure success and demonstrable return on investment.
Really? So it's actually working on the ground?
Oh, yeah. It's about fundamentally re-engineering high-volume workflows where human attention naturally degrades. You see this perfectly illustrated in the medical field right now.
Oh, right. The RadNet acquisition.
Yes. RadNet just acquired a French AI company called Gleamer for 230 million euros.
Which is a huge number.
Huge. And Gleamer has FDA and CE cleared AI that reads X-rays and MRIs for musculoskeletal, breast, lung, and neuro issues. And hospitals are finding so much value in this that they're paying Gleamer $30 million a year in recurring revenue just to keep the AI looking at their scans.
Yeah, and that is an incredible amount of money for software that just looks at pictures.
But look at how it works. RadNet isn't deploying this for the hype. There's a profound global radiologist shortage right now.
Right, people are overworked.
Exactly. Human eyes get tired at hour 11 of a shift. The AI doesn't.
That makes sense.
It analyzes millions of previous scans to find microscopic pixel deviations that indicate a hairline fracture or an early-stage tumor.
So it's catching things humans might miss.
Yeah, and it automates the draft reporting and triages the critical X-rays immediately. Or, look at Canada's digital core library.
Oh, I saw that in the notes. They are collaborating with Laurentian University and mining giants like Agnico Eagle and BHP. Right.
Exactly. They're digitizing millions of meters of geological drill core data.
Millions of meters.
Yeah. Instead of just drilling new holes blindly, they use machine learning to spot microscopic geological patterns across decades of physical rock samples.
That's incredibly efficient.
It is. The AI pattern matches the exact geological conditions that indicate critical minerals for EV batteries, like lithium, without digging a single new test hole.
Wow. So in both the medical and the mining examples, AI is acting as like the ultimate pattern matcher.
Finding the needle in the haystack infinitely faster than humanly possible.
Right, because AI is incredibly good at that binary logic, right? Tumor or no tumor, lithium or no lithium.
Very true.
But here's where we hit a structural wall. What happens when you take that binary machine logic and deploy it to police complex, nuanced human behavior in the physical world?
Well, that is where you introduce severe friction into everyday life.
Which brings us back to Western Australia. They've rolled out these AI-assisted seatbelt cameras, and it has sparked widespread backlash.
Huge backlash, yeah.
Since October, these cameras have issued 36,000 infringements. And we aren't talking about a slap on the wrist here.
No, not at all. It is a $550 fine and 4 demerit points.
Right. But the catch, the part that is infuriating people is that drivers are being penalized for their passengers' behavior.
It is a perfect case study in the limits of machine vision.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like, we have the story of a grandfather, Ross Taylor. His daughter was driving, and her young child in the back briefly shifted their seatbelt strap.
Just a slight adjustment.
The AI camera caught it, logged the pixel arrangement as a violation, and boom, the driver gets the fine in the mail.
It's ruthless.
Or Ellie Figomnari, the disability support worker I mentioned earlier. She received 4 fines, risking her entire license and livelihood because her neurodivergent client kept adjusting their seatbelt while she was driving. It's completely absurd. It's like getting a speeding ticket because your passenger sneezed and bumped your arm.
It's easy to blame the camera hardware, but the real issue here is the mandate given to the software engineers.
What do you mean?
Well, they were told by the state to optimize the algorithm for absolute binary compliance. They were not told to optimize for contextual safety.
And the contrast in penalties highlights that lack of context so clearly. Like, if you are caught speeding up to 29 kilometers over the limit, which is objectively dangerous to everyone on the road, it only costs you $400 and 3 points in WA.
Right.
Yet a passenger adjusting a strap costs the driver $550 and 4 points. You have former police officers, like MP Mark Folkard, defending the cameras.
Yeah, he argues the law is one size fits all.
Right, like if you aren't wearing a belt properly, you get fined. But I have to push back on that logic. A human police officer wouldn't pull over a disability support worker, see the context of the situation, and take her license away because her client was fidgeting.
You're touching on the exact cost of replacing human judgment. The road safety commissioner there, Adrian Warner, openly admitted that AI cameras lack the human interaction needed to provide corrective advice.
Right, there's no conversation.
Exactly. When a human officer pulls you over, there is a feedback loop. They assess the context, they can offer a warning, they educate the driver, and they apply discretion.
And machine vision entirely lacks discretion.
It only sees a pixel arrangement that violates a pre-programmed rule. It highlights the friction of automated enforcement. The system excels at compliance, but it completely fails at context.
And if losing human discretion on the road costs you $550, what does it cost when we strip human discretion out of our corporate software and our personal devices?
That's the big question.
Because that exact handoff of control is completely rewriting the digital economy right now.
We are entering the era of agentic AI, and it is a fundamental architectural shift.
We saw this clearly at Samsung's showcase at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona.
Oh, yes. The
Yeah.
Galaxy S26.
Yeah, powered by the new Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 processor, which is essentially the physical engine making this possible. And the entire phone is built around agents,
Features like Now Nudge and No Brief.
integrating Gemini and Perplexity right alongside Bixby. The phone isn't just waiting for you to tap an app anymore. It is designed to act on your behalf.
Right. To understand the shift, you have to look at how an agent works compared to a traditional app.
Okay, how so?
Well, an app waits for a human to drive the user interface. An agent actually takes control of the cursor, essentially. It coordinates across your different apps, searches the web, checks your schedule, and executes tasks autonomously. It is software driving other software.
That sounds incredibly convenient for the consumer, but it is causing absolute panic in the enterprise software world.
Panic might be an understatement. Investors are terrified of what they are calling the suspocalypse.
The suspocalypse. I love that term.
Software as a service stocks like Salesforce and Workday have lost sweeping amounts of market value recently.
You have massive global companies like Klarna publicly dropping Salesforce.
And they didn't go to a competitor.
No, they built their own internal AI system to query their data directly. Because investors are looking at these new AI agents like Claude Code or Brett Taylor's Sierra and realizing they can replace the human workers who traditionally sit in front of that software.
Exactly.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Traditional SaaS is priced like a gym membership.
You pay per seat?
Yeah, a company pays per employee, regardless of how much they use it. But agentic AI is like hiring one super trainer who just goes in and lifts all the weights for the entire company. Why would a business pay for 100 software seats if an AI agent does all the sitting?
That is the existential threat to the SaaS business model. The industry is being forced into a rapid shift toward consumption-based or outcome-based pricing. You no longer pay for the right to log in. You pay for the successful resolution of a customer service ticket.
That completely changes the economics.
Furthermore, the barrier to entry to build custom software has vanished. The terminal value of software is fundamentally being questioned. If a company's internal AI agent can write a custom customer relationship management tool over the weekend, the protective moat for traditional software giants entirely evaporates.
But hold on. If we are shifting to a world where these agentic AIs execute tasks on our behalf across our personal and work devices, doesn't that mean the security stakes for those devices just went through the roof? Like if my phone has permission to act for me, a hack isn't just a data leak anymore.
No, it's not.
It is a full hijacking of my digital proxy.
That is the exact nightmare scenario security researchers are currently racing against. The integration of autonomous agents requires flawless platform hardening at the operating system level.
And that makes the latest news from Google deeply concerning.
Very concerning.
They just patched 129 vulnerabilities in Android in a single month. That is the highest number since April 2018.
Yeah, and it includes a critical zero-day flaw in a widespread Qualcomm display chip.
Right, affecting over 234 different chipsets. The sources call it a memory corruption vulnerability.
Let's break down mechanically why that is so dangerous. Memory corruption, like a buffer overflow, essentially happens when a program tries to store more data in a temporary memory space than it was designed to hold. The excess data spills over into other areas of memory. A sophisticated hacker can use that spillover to write their own execution code directly into the device's brain.
Meaning they aren't just reading my text messages, they are taking the steering wheel of the device.
Exactly. In the past, if your phone was compromised, bad actors stole your photos and your password.
Which was bad enough.
Right. But today, an exploited device yields unprecedented operational control. If your AI agent has permission to move money, draft communications, and alter your calendar, a compromised device effectively becomes an autonomous weapon acting against your interests.
That is terrifying.
This is exactly why you see Google pivoting so hard to memory-safe programming languages like Rust for Android's core infrastructure. Rust strictly manages how memory is accessed at compile time, mechanically preventing those spillovers from happening in the first place.
Which is fascinating, but also, like I said, terrifying. And honestly, with autonomous systems taking over everything from driving fines to coding our software and managing our security, you're starting to see the humans who actually want to do the work start to rebel.
Oh, the pushback is organizing rapidly across almost every creative and intellectual sector right now.
We see the European Composer and Songwriter Alliance, the ECSA, aggressively pushing the EU Parliament's Cultel Committee.
They are demanding art, right?
Yes. RT authorization, remuneration, and transparency. And it makes perfect sense when you look at the data.
The Spotify and Deezer data.
Streaming services like Deezer are now seeing 60,000 fully AI-generated tracks uploaded daily.
60,000 a day.
Think about the playlists you listen to while you work. How long before you are paying a premium subscription just to guarantee there is a human heartbeat behind the music?
It completely dilutes the royalty pool for human musicians.
Exactly. Or in the visual world, German actors are actively boycotting Netflix dubbing sessions.
Because of the voice cloning clauses.
Right. The contracts allow the studio to clone their voices and replace them with AI down the line. I mean, we spent decades dreaming that robots would do our laundry and our spreadsheets so we could make art and music.
And now it's reversed.
Instead, the AI is making the art and music, and we're left doing the chores and fact-checking its hallucinations.
It's a profound inversion of the technological promise. But what's fascinating here is how this rebellion is manifesting in the next generation.
With the students, right?
Yes, we are seeing gifted students actively rejecting AI in the classroom, driven by a concept called entelechy.
Right, the innate drive for self-actualization.
Exactly. These students don't want a machine to bypass the cognitive struggle for them. There is a deeply telling anecdote in the research from the National Association for Gifted Children.
Oh, the dolphin story.
Yeah. A student was tasked with a character design assignment. The teacher, trying to be helpful, generated an AI example of a pink dolphin.
And the student hated it.
The student was visibly upset and rejected it, stating, "I will paint the dolphin myself, and unlike AI, I know where the dorsal fin actually goes."
I love that.
They value the friction of creation, because if we outsource the struggle of learning, we suffer mechanical skills loss. We lose the underlying capability to innovate.
But ironically, these same students resent clunky anti-AI school policies that end up blocking legitimate, necessary tools like Google Drive just to try and catch cheaters.
This is a very blunt instrument.
It's like a school banning calculators in an engineering class to make sure students know how to do long division. Like, you're protecting the fundamental skill, but you are crippling their ability to actually build the bridge.
That is a perfect analogy. You don't ban the tool, you change the nature of the inquiry. And we do have models for how to do this right at the highest levels of science.
Like at MIT.
Look at how MIT and the Broad Institute are using AI in cell biology right now. They aren't using AI to replace the scientist's hypothesis. They built a framework to map shared versus unique data across vastly different cell measurements. Chromatin morphology is essentially the physical shape and packaging of DNA inside a cell. By having the AI synthesize that complex physical data alongside RNA sequencing, it reveals the hidden mechanisms of diseases like cancer.
So it's doing the heavy lifting on the data.
Exactly. The AI handles the impossible scale of data synthesis, but the human scientist directs the inquiry and interprets the meaning. It is AI deployed as a synthesizer, not a substitute.
But when you take this battle over human agency, transparency, and AI guardrails, and you scale it all the way up, you hit the highest possible stakes,
Global government policy and military defense.
the ultimate arena for negotiating control. Look at the UK right now. The government is launching a landmark consultation on child digital safety.
They are considering some very strict measures.
Seriously, extreme measures. Banning social media for kids under 16, legally forcing companies to stop addictive features, restricting AI chatbots, and even implementing overnight digital curfews. Governments are stepping in with legislation because parents feel like they're fighting a losing battle against algorithms mechanically designed to exploit dopamine feedback loops.
Just to keep kids endlessly scrolling.
Right. And then, in the US, we have an incredible standoff playing out over military applications. Anthropic's chatbot, Claude, just shot to #1 on the Apple App Store.
And the timing on that is no coincidence.
No. Why did it hit #1? Because Anthropic publicly refused to allow the Pentagon to use its AI for mass domestic surveillance or fully autonomous weapons.
That refusal triggered an immediate structural debate and a very high-level government response.
You did. The sources outline how President Trump and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth responded by banning Anthropic from federal agencies, formally declaring the company a supply chain threat for refusing to cooperate.
And that left a massive vacuum.
Right. And almost immediately, OpenAI stepped in and signed a rushed deal with the Pentagon to fill that void.
Sam Altman defended the deal, right?
Yeah, he claimed that OpenAI still has strict red lines against surveillance and weapons, but they rely on cloud API deployments to prevent direct integration into weapons hardware.
Right, keeping it in the cloud.
So what does this all mean? It feels like OpenAI is selling a teenager a sports car, but insisting they can control the speed limit from the cloud. I have to push back here. Is a deployment architecture actually enough to prevent something like mass surveillance? If the drone feeds the video back to the cloud, the surveillance still happens, doesn't it?
That is the exact counter-argument being raised by privacy advocates. Objectively looking at the industry, you have a deep divide on how to enforce ethics mechanically. While on one side, companies rely on usage policies, which is essentially a signed paper contract saying, please don't do this.
Which is pretty flimsy.
Right. On the other side, you have the argument for deployment architectures, meaning physically restricting the software to a cloud API so it literally cannot be downloaded and air-gapped into a drone or a sensor grid.
I see.
But what is truly revealing here is the market's reaction to this debate.
The App Store rankings.
Exactly. The fact that Anthropic's Claude hit #1 in the App Store immediately after walking away from the Pentagon deal shows that everyday users care deeply about these corporate moral lines.
Consumers are voting with their downloads.
They want to know exactly where the guardrails are and who is holding the keys.
And that brings us right back to you, the listener. Because whether you are navigating an infuriating $550 AI seatbelt fine, or you're a business owner reconsidering your entire software budget, or you're a parent trying to decide if your kids should be allowed to talk to an AI chatbot after 8 p.m., the fundamental issue you're facing today is the negotiation of control.
Exactly. How much human agency are we willing to hand over to a machine for the sake of convenience, compliance, or optimization?
It's the question of the decade.
And that leaves us with a critical, almost science fiction reality to ponder as we close.
Oh, what's that?
If autonomous AI agents are eventually going to negotiate our software contracts, manage our health data, and relentlessly filter our media, will we soon need to build personal defense AI? Will you need a custom AI tool running on your own device, specifically designed and trained to protect your agency from the relentless optimization of other people's AI agents? Are we heading toward a future of proxy wars, fought entirely by our personal algorithms in the background of our lives?
It's a wild thought, but looking at the news today, it feels like those proxy wars have already started. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the day's events. Keep questioning the systems around you, and we'll see you next time.
Before you go, please subscribe to the podcast Prime. And if you enjoyed today's episode, hit like to support us. Thanks for listening and see you next time.